Hello and welcome to tonight's show.
Hello and welcome to episode 176 of On the Bench, the podcast for scale modelers by scale modelers, all about scale models. Coming to you live from Scale ACT 2023, Australia's capital, Canberra. And with me, of course, I've got Ian.
G'day, Dave. G'day, listeners.
And Julian.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Poor Julian's feeling a little bit under the weather, aren't you?
Yeah. Like asleep.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit of a hangover and and allergies.
Yeah. We went out last night and hit the town. We had caught up with Link and Gav.
Yep.
Link and Wright and Gav Cross, and had a great time.
Yeah, it was awesome night. Full, plenty of laughs.
It was indeed. So here we are, guys. This is, well, certainly my second time to the show, and your second time as well, Ian, and Julian, your first time. What do you think so far?
Oh, I'm very impressed.
Yes.
I mean, it's such a great setup. It's big, it's open, plenty of traders. Quality of kits on the table is just amazing.
They've got a record, I believe it's 716 kits entered for the competition.
Yes.
Plus there's a display of the local club here is doing a special on Matchbox kits.
Yes, I saw that. Looked great.
Which I haven't had a look at yet. But it's really deceptive. It's like an optical illusion here because it's on one huge layout floor, and where all of the model kits are in the competition, they're on a mix of straight tables and round tables. And it doesn't look like the 716 there. It's very deceptive. And I've got to say, I didn't think I'd be a big fan of the round tables, but I think it works.
Yeah, it does.
I'm really impressed how it sort of works. It gives you a good chance to sort of walk around, and you're not, I don't know, you don't seem to be bumping into people as much as if it's sort of like just a straight table. And the other way of doing it too is they've got the square tables laid out, but they've got it in such a way that you can get around the entire table, access it from all four corners.
Yep.
It's not in this just one huge line so that you're funneled down like an alleyway.
Yeah,
So
fully agree.
I think that's, whether it was intentional or not, I don't know, but it's certainly very clever, and I like it. I think it works really well.
Yeah.
Also, the density of models on any given table is very high. Like there'll be 20, 30 models on any table.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's a massive turnout of Machine Krieger, as well as Gundam as well, which I reckon is absolutely awesome to see.
Yes.
Yeah, just generally speaking, it's pretty evenly distributed across all the genres.
Even car kits, there's plenty of car kits as well.
Yeah. It's not one of those shows where aircraft is sort of taking over the entire thing. You're right, it's very balanced in the amount of models or the different genres that are on display in the competition.
Yes.
So from that point of view, it's really cool. And as Ian said earlier on, the traders, oh my goodness. I mean, sitting directly across from us, we're looking at Magic Factory.
With their new Corsair.
And Ian is spitting chips because unfortunately they're not for sale.
No. But I had a look at the sprues and wow, I'm really impressed with that.
I tell you what, if this is a hint of what Magic Factory looks like, and here we go, we've got Link sort of walking past going, bothering us. We're gonna
Pull up a chair, Link.
Oh, his show's on. Okay. All right. Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. That's the beauty about being live. We just got heckled by...
He's been very busy talking and making sales.
Yes. I can't believe he's been swamped at his table with all the people coming up.
Yeah.
It's been awesome to see.
I was hoping I could just, pop around every once in a while and have a yak, but yeah, he's very busy.
Getting back to the Magic Factory, though, I mean, my goodness, if this is their sort of,
introduction.
It's wow.
Yeah.
I'm really, really super impressed.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see what they're going to bring forward into the future because that stuff looks just absolutely fantastic.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing, isn't it?
I've got my eye on the Iron Dome. I reckon that'll be a great kit.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's got rockets in it, so yeah.
Rockets, yes, it does.
Why wouldn't I?
Yep. Yeah, next to them, you got Kinetic.
Yes, they've got a special on. They've got a
25% off.
and on top of that, they have the special kit for this year as well, which is
Yes.
this show released the
Yeah, FA-18.
Akara, Operation Akara.
Yes,
It's awesome. We saw the aircraft last year at the War Memorial.
correct. Yes, we did, yes.
What else we got around here? We got a whole heap of other sort of traders and displays. As I said, we got, of course, we got Scott, our good mate from SMS Paints, who's over there doing a roaring trade. We
Yeah.
mentioned earlier on, Lincoln Wright is with his display selling books and talking to the people. I can't get over how many people are getting their photo taken with him. Nobody
He's
asked
a bit
us
of a
to get a
celebrity.
photo table.
He's a bit of
do
a
they?
celebrity.
Well,
isn't
he can also sign the books, you know.
That's true as well. That's very true.
We also got the Canberra Hobby Centre.
Yes.
Runway 13.
Yes. Lots of
Spec Mad. All the figures.
A whole host of things. There's enough there to keep everybody happy and occupied, and certainly many ways to part with your cash while you're here. So speaking of parting with cash, have you guys purchased anything yet?
Yes, I have.
Oh, what you got?
The A26 Invader
Yes.
and a Fine Molds Ocker, both in 48 scale.
Oh, very cool. What about you, Julian?
nothing yet.
Nothing yet. But then again, that's Julian.
Yeah, that's me.
He may not buy anything.
Well, it's not like I haven't been looking. I've just been looking mostly at the car models, and there was a near miss, but not quite. And I don't need to pull the trigger on that one.
Yep.
I'm mostly looking for the Hasegawa kits because those what I'm into right at the moment. You know, the Hasegawa car kits. Yeah. I was almost tempted to sort of maybe buy that Mark Scaife GTR.
Ah, I'm surprised you didn't actually.
Well,
You
I've
may
got,
still-
I've got a GTR, and I'd rather do a street one, to be honest,
Ah, fair
rather than
enough.
a race car.
Cool.
If I'm going to do a race car, I want it to be a proper race car.
Well, I managed to
Right.
get my hands on a K200A1, which is a Malaysian infantry fighting vehicle, and also a government aircraft factory Tirana, which is a target drone that the
Yes.
Australian aircraft factory produced in the 60s, 70s, 80s, I want to say.
I'm not
So,
too sure, mate.
yeah. So that's a 3D print, which I'm really cool and looking forward to getting that up as well. All right. Well, how about we have a very short break and we'll bring on our next guest who we need to fish out, and we'll be back very shortly.
Sounds like a plan.
Hi, I'm Scott, the creator and owner of the Scale Modeler Supply, Australia's largest manufacturer of hobby paints. Our premium airbrush-ready acrylic lacquer paints are designed specifically for use on plastics, with a comprehensive range covering all popular modelling subjects including military, aircraft, rail, auto, sci-fi and more. And not only that, but we also have a wide selection of essential hobby tools and now, Infinite Colour, our new range of water-based paints for miniatures. So to check out our range and to find your closest retailer, please visit our website at scalemodeler.com.au. So when quality matters, choose SMS Paints.
And that gives me great pleasure to introduce the most amazing Mr. Brett Green.
Hey.
Well, let's say just slightly amazing is fine.
It's great to have you back on the show, Brett.
Yeah, great to be here actually in a brand new venue in Canberra as well.
Oh, it's amazing,
Very
isn't it?
exciting.
It really is exciting. Just walking through that door this morning, seeing the throng of people everywhere, and the light, and
Yep.
it's fantastic.
Yeah, lots of ambient light, actually. It's actual sunlight.
Yes, actual sunlight. Yeah, we're not used to seeing that.
Yes.
We're all used to blue light.
Certainly,
Yeah,
not,
that's right.
certainly not in the model show, and I think that's one of the key things to this venue is you've got a lot of natural light flooding in, so you're seeing the models the way they should be seen.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's very impressive.
Absolutely.
And the quality of work here is just amazing.
And the quantity too is
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's right.
We were just saying earlier on, Brett, that we were very surprised how it's a very balanced field of models from all genres.
Yes,
So it's
yeah.
not aircraft heavy, it's not armour heavy.
No.
It's very well balanced.
And broader in subject matter as well, with the fantasy stuff and the Gundams and bits and pieces. I quite like the round tables as well.
It's
We were
funny,
saying
I
that
was
as well,
just
yeah,
saying
yeah.
that, yes.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I had preconceived ideas that perhaps wouldn't work when I first saw it yesterday as we were setting up. But I quite like it.
And you're certainly closer to the models than you normally are with those long tables and the white tablecloths.
Yes.
And that's the other thing we were saying before. They've done something very clever here. Each table is sort of separate, the normal oblong shape. So you're not funneled down this like alleyway.
No, that's right.
You got a bit more room to sort of spread out and walk around and check the table out without bumping shoulders with people.
No, that's right. It's not a cattle run like
Yes.
it is at most shows.
Yeah.
The other thing that I found was that when I came in, almost the first thing I saw were those two tables up the front with 32nd scale aircraft on them. And I thought, wow, they're big.
They're huge.
And I guess that's partly because of the smaller tables, the round tables.
Yeah.
So it tends to actually give a better idea of what the scale and
Yeah.
the context
Yes.
is.
Yeah,
Totally
it
agree.
amplifies it. It certainly
Yeah.
amplifies it.
Yeah.
And a great range of traders as well we were talking about.
Yes, and manufacturers too. Yeah, so it's very impressive.
Have you had a chance to check out the Magic Factory Corsair yet?
I like it. I like it a
looks
lot.
really
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Two kits, one box.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yes, and being able to build one as a wings folded and one as the wings out.
Yeah, and also
No,
birdcage and
Yes,
standard canopy.
yeah, that's right. And you could build an F4U1 birdcage as well
Yeah.
from the parts in the box. You wouldn't necessarily have to build it as an F4U2.
Correct.
Night
yes,
fighter.
Yeah, it's just if that's like their first foray,
It's,
I'm looking forward to seeing what else they're going to bring in.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive and
Yeah.
some nice innovative aspects to it as well.
Yes.
It's near the top of my build pile, that's for
Yep.
sure.
I'll be
I can
definitely
see
ordering
I
one.
can
in.
see a New Zealand Corsair in my future again. You can
Good
never have
idea.
too many Kiwi Corsairs.
Yes, they look amazing.
Yeah.
So did you bring anything in for display, or you just dropped in to have a look around?
Yeah, just dropped in to have a look around. I did actually crazily manage to buy a couple of bits and pieces here myself.
Yeah.
I need more.
We all say that.
Yeah, that's right. But whenever I see a 32nd scale Hasegawa World War II kit, I've got to pick it up basically. So
It's
they're
like a
awesome.
magnet.
Oh, it is. It is. That's right. But I guarantee now that I bought it that it'll be re-released through Hobby Japan or someone like that.
Of course.
Of
Yeah,
course,
That's Murphy's Law.
It is.
So tell us, Brett, what's happening in your world at the moment?
Well, it's quite busy. We've moved house in the last year.
Yes, yes, yeah.
So we've celebrated our first anniversary in Lithgow.
Nice.
Lovely part of
sunny
the world.
Lithgow. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is lovely actually. The house is just sort of halfway up the hill. We've got a nice view over the town. I had pretty much a year where I couldn't do much modelling at all, and I'm very relieved to say that in January we managed to fit out the garage as my new office.
Nice.
And then the big project for this year has been building a big shed out the back, so that I've got somewhere to store all of my, ridiculous, never to be built models.
I like that. A shed specifically for your stash.
It is specifically for the stash. Yeah, my wife does have a wall of Christmas decorations there too, so that's the token.
Yes.
But that's just been finished in the last month or two, and very happy with that too. So
Oh,
it's
that's
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is so good.
So we're getting close to being actually back up to full production again.
Yep. Oh, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Kind of missed your builds.
Yeah, so did I. It was a bit sad, really. But now my biggest problem is actually picking which one to build.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that shocking?
It really is amazing.
There's nothing worse. You open at home. I open the cupboard door and I go, well.
Yes.
And half an hour later, I'm still in the same position. Well,
That's
which one?
That's it. And I thought I knew what I was going to build for the next issue of Model Airplane International magazine.
Oh, really?
And then I got an email from Hannants in the middle of the week, and I'd ordered a couple of bits and pieces from them. And the email said, "Oh, I've stuck another model in that box. but it's not actually going to be announced until the 9th. So can you, if you get it before the 9th, can you make sure you don't actually say anything about it? And it's the new Airfix 72nd scale Messerschmitt 410.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So that's very exciting. That's on the way. Shouldn't be too far away. And I think that'll be the one that I build next.
Yeah, sure, sure.
148 pieces, I think it says.
Wow.
Which is not bad for a
72nd
scale kit.
The ME110 takes me right back to my childhood, building them with my mates and then playing war games on the garage floor.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. The 410 is a really interesting aeroplane too, as flawed as it was.
Yes.
Or the 210 certainly was flawed. But it's a great looking thing.
It is, yes.
You know, if you like remote barbettes firing out the back and gigantic cannon coming out the front, then you're in the right place.
Now, did I not see a 410 on display and it was all opened up with the engine cowling all opened up and everything?
I think that was, I think, what was that? Fine molds?
It might have been a fine molds one, yes. It looked magnificent. We've done a really good job.
Yeah. Mm.
But there's lots of great kits out there.
No, it is. Yeah. It's amazing, yeah. But yeah, speaking of old days and 110s, my favourite, I think one of my favourite box arts ever, in fact, I think it might have been a bag art when I bought the kit, was the Frog BF-110 G4 Night Fighter.
Oh,
just so evocative, some of those old Frog.
They were, weren't
unbelievable,
they?
Yeah.
I always loved them. Always action-packed.
I'm quite glad Frog aren't around anymore.
Yeah, no, that's right.
They got people introduced to model building.
Yeah, well, that's true.
It makes you wonder what they'd be like today, though. I mean, they could be, sort of very high-end or sort of in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, no, that's right.
They were a bit of a trailblazer back in the day, weren't they?
They were, very much so. And they did 32nd scale stuff as well, when almost no one else was.
And it's interesting, I mean, and Brett, because you've been sort of... Oh, you've been around the block a few times. So
thanks very much. I think.
So you compare things like what Magic Factory across the way from us are preparing for sale shortly now with, what we started out with, as you said, Frog and Airfix and Hello back in the 70s and the 60s and all that. And we've just come so far now. And as modelers, their expectations are so much more higher.
Yeah. Oh, they really are. Mm. And I think a little bit too high in some ways. I think there's got to be a point where you say this is a model and we are representing features on the model. And it's like the hand of David, Michelangelo's David.
Yep.
The hand is big because you're emphasising the hand. You want the eye to be drawn to that.
Yes.
And I think that's the same with surface textures in particular with kits. Obviously, you don't want something that looks completely ridiculous, that is hugely raised and hugely recessed. But I don't mind a slight exaggeration to draw your attention to the fact that this is a structural piece of technology.
Yes.
Much like the oil canning effect you see on the Hong Kong models, is it Lancaster?
Yes. Yeah.
And and that's starting to creep in, which I applaud. I reckon it's fantastic if a manufacturer can pull it off, particularly in scale. But part of me also wonders, well, are we going to lose the other side of it, where you've got the modelers who can represent oil canning through paint?
Yes.
And just doing painting.
Yes, that's right.
And it's funny, I was talking to a Korean guy just the other day, and he'd built a ship and he'd represented the oil canning in the ship purely by different shading, and you think, oh, wow.
Yeah. Incredible what people can do. Yeah.
Oh, no, it wasn't. And there was another one who did aircraft. He did, I think it might have been a C-47 or 2 or 3 of them, and he did oil canning effects on those aircraft. It was just superb.
Yeah, there's a 48th scale aircraft over there. Sorry, radio audience, over there. Well, it's probably not radio either, is it?
Close enough.
That has oil canning that was obviously, the modeler made it
themselves.
I'll have to
go check that out.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly what it was. Might have been a Picara, I think.
Right. Okay.
I think so. Have a squeeze.
I will.
Yeah.
We'll have a walk around.
Definitely.
I've done one lap of the table, so I haven't done 2 or 3 yet. So I need to get back there and take some more pictures and have a closer look. I got stuck on the machine Krieger table earlier on, and I did about 4. Every time and that's the beauty about the circle. You come around the round table and you come back again, And you pick up something you didn't see before,
Yes.
so you can do another lap of it.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
No, that's right.
It's like an ant death spiral.
Yes.
So you say you got the Airfix one coming out soon, which you'll be building for...
Model Airplane International,
Yep.
but I'll be putting some photos and description. I'll do a full detailed review on hyperscale as well. So
Awesome.
we'll have it in the magazine and online.
Good.
And I expect that should be here next week. So
Okay.
just
Oh, well, keep
pop along.
your eyes peeled, guys.
Yes, yeah, just pop in daily on what's new, and you'll see it there sometime.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome.
All right, Brett, it's been awesome to have you on the
Yes.
show again.
Thanks, guys.
You have a great weekend. And you playing somewhere soon?
I am playing at Bankstown Sports Club tomorrow afternoon from 1 till 5.
Fantastic.
Oh, cool.
So
And
that'll
for
be fun.
all our listeners who don't understand that reference, Brett's actually a quite reasonable guitar player and singer.
Oh, thank you very much.
The man
I'll
of
take that
many
as a review.
talents.
Thank you. Yes. I came to it late, but I'm having fun with it, that's for sure.
Give Paul
That's the main
Kelly a run
thing.
for his money, that's for sure.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, mate.
Okay, see ya. Bye.
And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce somebody who has been hanging out for a long time to get on a podcast, and that is Tony from Horizon Models. G'day, Tony.
G'day guys, how you doing?
Really, really good.
Fantastic.
Super excited to see you at the show.
Yeah, same here.
Even more excited to see the only existing Atlas Agena model in 176 scale sitting over there.
Yeah, the only one on the planet right now, yes.
Did I say 76 scale or 72nd scale?
72nd.
You idiot, Dave. Oh, my God. 72nd
Don't
scale.
Comedy gold.
We'll have to
got-
do an outtakes one day.
Well, yeah. I've got to say, it looks absolutely gorgeous, and I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to get my hands on a couple of copies of them.
Yep.
When are they due out?
Probably the next month or so, roughly speaking. We are hearing about some issues with distribution coming from China. The tool's made in China, but it's going to come to Sydney, and the injection moulding will happen in Sydney.
So you actually injection mould in Australia?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't make a lot of people will be quite surprised at that. It's largely because the freight cost from China is generally volumetric.
Right.
So if you look at our mercury capsule, it's actually very, very light but very delicate. So it's
Yeah.
got to have a lot of space around it. So we used to get only about 50 of those in a very, very large box. You could easily fit probably 200 or 300, but because of its delicate nature, it had to have a very low volume in the box, and then the freight costs were just ridiculous. And that was the only tool that we left in China originally.
Right.
Once the freight costs got out of hand, we just brought it back to Australia and basically halved the unit costs on each one of those molds. Each one of those
Wow.
shots, yeah. That's largely because of freight.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
it's just unpredictable, Whereas tooling, that's obviously a very heavy item, but you only bring it out once. So
Yeah.
you cop the hit early on,
Yeah.
but then long term it's a lot easier to handle with. Also, the turnaround times, if I've got to order another set of shots, it's pretty quick if it's done locally.
Yeah.
I can then go up and inspect it to make sure everything's fine, and then they just ship it to the warehouse. And it's a lot easier to do just locally than having to go through customs and shipping and all that from China.
And because you can actually go and have a look at the shots as they're being done or run, the
Yep.
quality control is obviously automatically built in there because you're casting your eye over it.
Yeah. So a few of the times have been the timing's been right where I've actually gone out there. Typically they've already done 30 or 40.
Yeah.
Sometimes it only takes 30 seconds to do each one, so it's pretty quick volume.
Yep.
And I can do a quick look, see what might be going wrong. It's funny. Sometimes one particular part on a particular production run will start to fail. Like it'll be short molded, the plastic flow won't go all the way.
Yep.
And then a year later or so, it'll be another part that has the same problem in it. So on each one of our tools, I know exactly where on the tool it's likely to fail.
Yep.
So now the tool makers know where it might, and they just keep an eye on it.
Okay.
And they basically, it's a bit of a black art. They dial up the pressure, they dial up the temperature, or whatever they need to do, or increase the clamping force, things like that.
Yeah.
And very, very quickly they get it back to like a cookie cutter. They just come out one after the other.
When I was 17, I used to be in injection moulding. And then later in life, I spent about 10 years in blow moulding, so
Okay.
I'm reasonably familiar with it.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's interesting you mentioned blow molding. Just had a conversation with one of the guys that there are some model rockets out there that are blow molded.
Yeah.
But there's something wrong about that. Like you have to have two fuselage halves that you glue together when it comes to anything aerospace, including rockets or civil airliners or fighter jets or whatever. Like having the whole thing as one piece takes excitement out of it, I think.
I've mainly seen polyethylene and polypropylene blow moulded. I've never seen styrene blow moulded. I think when you get the tube down, there might be a bit of an issue with that.
That's probably why we're not seeing too many of them.
Yeah.
There was a guy in America that did a 24th scale German V2, but that was a one-off for him, and haven't seen much from him since. So unfortunately, it's not that type of moulding just hasn't taken off.
Right.
But like I said, there's something about having to glue two parts together. Otherwise, it's not a kit,
Yeah, true.
Sonny, and the exciting thing for me, because I'm right into my real space stuff, so I love it all. I've bought way too many of your kits already.
That's good to know. Keep that up.
I suspect I'll buy a few more in the very near future.
Yep.
But it's great also to have a local manufacturer and see manufacturing coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, manufacturing is still quite large in Australia, just that it's dropped from its heyday. And there's a little bit of a myth that, all we do is mining in this country, but there's still quite a substantial amount of manufacturing going on.
Well, I look at you, I look at what Scott's doing at SMS Paints, he's going on to conquer the world with his fantastic paints that he's got.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely sensational, and it's great to see, homegrown stuff sort of coming up.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So, where's without sort of, you don't have to sort of answer this, but where's your biggest market worldwide?
By far the United States.
Yeah.
By far. We also have Canada, the UK, Germany. Australia is very, very popular. Obviously, the loyalty of having a locally based business, and people are supporting that, so we're very grateful about that.
Yep.
Did I say Canada? I can't remember.
Yeah,
but they're the main ones.
Yeah.
And then you have a spattering of ones all around the world. We get some customers in Brazil. Some countries we've never sold to. Had two go over to Russia, but they came back a long time ago.
What do you mean they came back?
Just something wrong with the postage label.
Right.
But it's funny, no one from China has ever bought one of our kits.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it's just purely a language barrier, because we do well in Japan as well.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple of distributors over there, Beaver Corporation and Platts in Japan. And so there's about 6 or 7 primary countries that we sell to, but by far it's the United States.
So how long have you been doing this for now?
Our first product came out in 2015, so we just recently had our 8th anniversary, and this coming week I'll be announcing the winner of that competition. We had a lot of really good entries, and we'll make the announcement later on this week. But 8 years, we had a few years prior to that doing the design and the development. The research part is by far the most time-consuming part.
Sure.
Oh, would be, yeah.
Sure.
And I do that for free.
Yeah.
I think if I had to pay myself, it would cost more than the actual tooling,
It's amazing what passion can do.
Yeah, and that, to me, that's the most exciting part of the whole thing. Like when we were doing the Agena, when I was doing the decal design for that, you saw the model has got the silver stripes on it.
Yeah.
In some of the photos, they were black.
Right.
And it took me a while to realise that was just a reflection of space. Those stripes are there to reflect light and things like that. So when it's facing space, those stripes are black. When it's on the launch pad, they can be white from clouds in the background, and then they just blend out with the rest of the white fuselage.
Yeah.
It took me a while to figure that out, and I've got a couple of researchers in America that I deal with from time to time, and they've helped me out quite a bit in that area.
And your decals for the new Agena look absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. Yeah.
I can't wait to get my hands on
Yep.
it. So.
Well, you can go and touch them today, but yeah.
Oh, I do.
But
Wash your hands first.
A few months before that, I think, before we can get that out into the market. But hopefully,
You really picked the time to sort of start the company, because it was post 2015. We're starting to get into 2019, 2020, when you got Elon Musk building all these rockets, and there's been a huge resurgence now in people getting interest in space and space rockets again.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think you just came in just prior to that. So have you seen a sort of resurgence in interest in more recent years than when you first started?
Yeah, definitely. It's funny, every time when Elon Musk launched his new Starship a few months ago, even though the launch was a failure, they obviously learned a lot from it. We had a rush on sales just from the interest of people wanting to see, it just sort of triggers that that thought of, you know, people remember Neil Armstrong and, you know, Walk on the Moon, all that sort of stuff, and you know, Shepard and Glenn and all the other guys that flew Mercury, and then the next batch that flew Gemini and then Apollo. So any of these big events like that, they just trigger that memory, and people go onto the web, that they see what's available. You know, these kits weren't done to a common scale in the past. A lot of the spacecraft kits that have been in circulation were done in the 50s and 60s to the box scale, basically. There have been other manufacturers that have brought things out in standard scales like 48th, 72nd, 144th, but we're really trying to do the whole range of the US spacecraft's program, starting from Mercury going all the way through. You know, potentially doing like SpaceX and Falcon and Starship at some point way in the future. We'll just have to see how that pans out, because you've got licensing things and other considerations.
So is there licensing for things like the Mercury rockets and the Atlas ones you're doing now?
Yeah. So
how does that work, and how do you go about doing that?
Basically, all the large aerospace manufacturers, either they have their licensing team internally, or they use agents that specialise in licensing for, you know, cars, for Disney, you name it. Anything that can be licensed, they specialise in those things. And they're very keen to get people on board as part of the licensing program, because it protects their brand image. So there are guidelines that we have to meet, and a lot of that's to do with the quality of the product, you know, maintaining their standard and the expectation that they would have. So most of all the aerospace industry has consolidated over the last 50, 60 years. So most of it now funnels back to Lockheed Martin and Boeing and some to Northrop Grumman, for example. So we got licensing agreements with the first two of those, and we're basically just going through the range one after, just going through the range of their equipment and building it.
Being this is my podcast, I get to ask questions that I want to ask, and so you don't have to answer this, Tony.
That's okay.
But I'm just throwing it out there what I'd love to see one day.
Yeah.
And it is perhaps a Titan ICBM or just a Titan rocket in semi-second scale. That'd be gorgeous.
That would be.
There's your answer, Dave.
Look, as I mentioned before, I'll be a little bit secretive about it.
That's fine.
We are doing the US manned spaceflight program. I'm very interested in that personally myself. We do want to do aircraft as well at some point in the future.
Oh, really?
I'd love to do like a B-47. Kits like that, you know, Hasegawa's got a great kit, but like it's 40 or 50 years old. It'd be great to see a new tool one with recessed panel lines and all the rivets on it. The reason why I say that is I got one of the kits and I'm trying to do it myself, and it's a lot of work to rescribe and then put thousands and thousands of rivets all over the thing, you know.
Is that the curse of being a manufacturer, where you've got your own little stash and you pull the kit out and you start doing it and you go, oh my God, this is horrible, I can do a better job, and then it gets the gears sort of turning, thinking maybe I should produce it? Or
it's probably more about just being a modeler. It's probably more about just being the modeler and just wanting to go to the next level. And then you know, you guys talk about a shelf of doom.
Yes.
I've actually got a room of doom because of that.
Oh my!
And if you're ever in Sydney, drop by. I'll show you. I'll have my head hanging very low, but yeah, I've spoken to a lot of guys today and at other shows. Everyone kind of does it. You start a kit with, you know, you're really pumped. You've seen something on TV or watched a YouTube video and you think, oh, I've got that in the stash. I'm going to pull it out. And all the work that needs to be done, you don't even think of it at that stage. You're just high at the moment, you know. And then you start on it, and then you're doing it at 11 o'clock at night, and you think, what the hell am I doing? And then it just goes into the room of doom, you know. I packaged up a lot of stuff and put it in the garage so I'd have a bit more breathing room in that room. But yes, it's largely from being a modeler rather than a manufacturer. From the manufacturing side, I've got to be quite brutal at times and think about what is dimensionally appropriate for the scale. When I was doing some of my early drawings, I was trying to get these two lines to meet and all this sort of stuff, and it just wouldn't work. And then I looked at the zoom. I was at 10,000% zoom. So I was just wasting my time. And then I realised that you know, you just get caught up in that. What's the thing? You get caught up in a rabbit hole and you don't know how to get out sometimes. And you just say, okay, you know what? This thing doesn't in this scale. It doesn't need absolutely every single rivet, or it doesn't need this, or it doesn't need that. Sometimes you'll have a rocket where it's got a specific little thing stuck to the side for that one single flight.
Right.
And you got to ask yourself how many modelers are going to be upset if you don't put it in the kit, because you got to balance out having it as accurate and realistic as possible, but also having it at a good price point, because
exactly right.
No one's going to buy like an Atlas if it's $300 for 1/72 scale kit, even if it's absolutely perfect. It's just too far out there. You know?
And your prices are fantastic. That you don't even think twice grabbing one, or grabbing 2 or 3 like I do sometimes. And for the US market, obviously the prices are excellent because of the Aussie dollar. So where do people go if they want to find out more about Horizon Models?
Basically to our website, so it's horizon-models.com. We've also got a Facebook page, so just type in Horizon Models in the search field, and that'll get you in contact with us. Expect to see some announcements in the next few weeks. One's obviously about the competition that's just ended. And we'll have some, we'll let people know when the dates are available for the Atlas Agena and how to pre-order and things like that, and then future projects as well. And
just on the Atlas Agena, you can make 2 different types, can't you?
Yeah, so the main type is the one that docked with the Gemini capsule. Though it's important to realise that this particular kit is designed for the launch configuration only, not for the docking with the Gemini capsule. So you've got the basic Agena that was designed for about 6 or 7 Gemini missions. And then you've also got the augmented docking target. I forgot what it stands for, ADDVA or something. That was the one, it was a shortened one. It wasn't an Agena like in the traditional sense. That was the one where the shroud wouldn't open in flight, and the astronauts nicknamed it the Angry Alligator, because that's what it kind of looked like. But yeah, so that kind of ruined that mission a little bit.
Well, it's been fantastic having you on the show. Finally, Tony. Finally. As your number 1 ticket holder.
Thank you.
I've been really excited to see how you progressed over the years, and super excited about what's coming out in the very near future, and even more excited about possibly what might be coming out in the future, which we'll get you on the show to talk about
definitely
later on down the track.
That'd be great.
Right.
Thanks
Thanks very much, Tony.
Cheers.
Thanks, Tony. Thank you.
Hey everyone, it's Chris at Inside the Armour Publications. I'd like to tell you about what I've got going on at ITA pubs right now. First, I've got a huge restock from Tetra models, including the Coyote TSV, Jackal 2 and M1278 Heavy Guns Carrier PE sets. The Akagi PE set for the 1700 Hasegawa kit is back in stock. I've got new stuff coming from Wingsy kits, including a restock of their ever popular BF109s. And also I've still got plenty of copies of Models for Ukraine Volume 2. Please do buy that if you would like to help with humanitarian aid for Ukraine. In addition, I've also got the F4, 148 and 172nd decal sets for 13th TFS at Udon Air Force Base in the late 60s, which are fantastic for your 172nd or 148 Phantoms. So head on over to InsideTheArmour.com or check out ITA discounts on eBay to find out more about these great products and how you can get your hands on them.
And now we managed to find Jodie and Marissa, aka Mars, walking around at the show. Decided to drag them behind the microphone. Ladies, how are you this afternoon?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you, Jodie.
I'm good.
I was absolutely blown away by how many MAK kits and how many Gundam kits there are on display today.
Yeah, it's way more than last year.
Yeah.
The straight build category took up an entire table. It wasn't the case last year. Really stiff competition on the repaint category too. Everyone sort of stepped up. Like, I'm really pleased to see different entries and I guess younger people entering too.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Yeah, it's really good, yeah.
And we should also make a mention about that as well. There's actually a section over to our left where we are where kids can go and make a Gundam kit. And it's been amazing to see them go and sit down. And there was actually one little girl who finished making it and she started running around going whoosh, whoosh, making all these noises after she made the kit. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, it's good.
I might get you just to push that microphone a little bit closer to your mouth there. There we go.
Oh, this is very close.
Yep.
Okay. But it was just great to see the girls, or the kids I should say, just enjoying themselves so much and getting so excited about building. And as I said, running around playing with it afterwards. Oh, that was awesome.
That's really awesome, especially on the Machina Krieger here as well, and having Lincoln with us.
Yes.
Well, we went out with Link last night, and we got terribly. We didn't get drunk.
We had a good
We
time.
had a good time.
We had a
last
very
night,
good
yes.
time.
And
time.
Lincoln After Dark is twice as funny as Lincoln in Daylight.
He's a dark horse.
He is very much so. But I've got to say, very impressed with your work, both of you.
Oh, thank you.
I had a
thank
good look
you,
at your
yeah.
stuff. It was absolutely amazing. I love your bases.
My bases,
Your
yeah.
bases
Oh, my
just,
God,
they
yes.
just the builds are wonderful, but then you throw it on those awesome bases and it just bang.
I'd
Pops.
like to thank my dad in Indonesia. He does the acrylic cutting.
Oh,
So
right.
all
Yep.
I do is just design the base. But every time I go home, each year, I told my dad, hey, here's my commissions for the year. These are the sizes. These are the designs. Can you print and like drill the holes? And he's familiar with like the Bandai bases and says like, oh, does it need a stand? Is it number 1, 2, or 3? Like he knows the diameter
Oh, wow.
already. And he's like, and yeah, come home with like a stack of acrylic bases, and he's like, it's finished. I'm like, thanks, Dad.
Oh, that is so good.
Those acrylic bases are the bomb. They are
Yeah.
And
awesome.
he makes the trophies for Scalac too from last year as
Oh,
well. Like all
really?
the acrylic
Oh,
stuff.
wow.
He does it, yeah.
Wow.
There you go. There you
He's
go.
a real handyman.
It sounds like it.
Jodie, you've travelled all the way from Western Australia, and for our listeners overseas, that's like travelling from one side of the states to the other.
Yeah.
So magnificent effort on your part, and dragging all those models with you on a flight as well. And I was horrified to learn that you stacked them in checked luggage as well.
Yeah, I had to. I couldn't take that much as hand luggage, unfortunately, but I did like wrap them in bubble wrap very, very.
I saw her
Well.
unpacking. There's like so many bubble wraps.
And a blanket, I think, as well was in there, just to
Oh, wow.
Qantas-proof it all. But they all survived, and with some minor surgery. Good thing I'm staying with someone who has a lot of hobby tools.
I told her it is the best place to be for any model surgeries.
Yes.
She took my entire table with like 7 kits,
Fantastic.
like, fixing it.
So it must be double trouble at your place, and with both of you staying there.
Well, my cat was very confused because she's seeing someone else in the hobby bench.
Yeah.
So she's not quite used to that, I think. And
Yeah.
she says there are things on the table, but it's not me sitting on the table. So she was very confused.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So there's actually 3 different categories of Gundam on display here and for judging. So, Mars, do you want to step through what those 3 different categories are?
So the 3 categories: straight build, repaint, and custom.
Yep.
Straight build, basically for your casual modelers. Just snap fit out of the box, no painting. You can use third-party decals if you want. You can use water slots if you want. But really what we're looking for is neatness and posing. That's all.
Yep.
We don't want to make it pay to win, stress marks and all that stuff. I mean, it's inevitable if you're just using it casually.
Yes. Yes.
I did like a judging workshop, I think just a couple of days ago, and I want to explain, if you want no stress marks, obviously you want to use high-end tools like glass files and things like that.
Yep.
But because this is meant to be like your first competition, like your first entry into competitive Gundam, and it's the casual category, you don't want to sort of penalize people for not having like high-end tools. It
Yes,
needs to be
that's
most
correct.
as inclusive as possible. So if it's neat, looks cool, then you might be in the running to win.
Yep.
Repaint it, just repaint.
So with the repaint, what are you looking for with the repaint in the repaint section?
So with the repaint, it's very interesting talking about painting in Gunpla in particular, because the method of painting Gunpla can be a bit different than other traditional scale models. Gunpla has a lot of metallics, a lot of inner frame metallics, pistons, and all that stuff. We want to look at how realistic those metallic finishes are. It's usually one of the most important points, especially if they have nozzles, pistons, rivets. We want to make sure that the metallics are smooth and have no blemish. With Gunpla as well, there's a lot of color separation. What that means is, say you're looking at a shield and it's just one big piece, but with 3 panels. Instead of painting it all white, you want to see white off white gray, so a bit of like color separation.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
if there's green, dark green, light green, looks really nice. Overall finish of the paint is also very important, but there's no such thing as accuracy. Unlike planes, you have to be the right colors, right decals. There's no such thing as that. You can paint it whatever you want. You can put whatever decals you want. I was talking about this at the Gundam judging workshop a couple of days ago. A lot of people on the internet can be a bit antsy. It's like, oh, it's an air unit decal, and you're putting on a ground unit decal. And I said, leave that for the plane people. Like, we don't want that here.
No.
But it really is just craftsmanship and painting and finish. If very rarely, I was telling this as well at the judging workshop, like very rarely you have two kids that are just so good painting-wise that you have a hard difficulty.
Yeah.
The reason why judging Gunpla sometimes is a little bit easier is because sometimes you can already tell someone has a really good paint job. And it's very, very rare. Like in my 5-6 years judging, I think only once happened to have two equally amazing paint job.
Right.
And it's like neck to neck. We're trying to like nitpick and see which one is worse than the other.
Yes.
But usually with Gunpla, it's quite easy to see, oh, this one has a very high level of finish, this one has a very realistic metallic. And it's usually you can already tell. It's just trying to justify yourself if your feeling is correct. It's like, I think this should win, but let me find reasons why it shouldn't so that I'm not biased, sometimes that's kind of like that.
Yep.
And that's repaint is super easy. You're not allowed any modifications, but then that brings us to custom, which is pretty much the advanced category. That's where anything goes. You can kit bash, pla plate, battle damage, resin, given it has a Bandai inner frame, because we want to respect that it's still a Gundam category. If you enter a full resin kit with no Bandai inner frame, then it's not really a Gundam, is it? Even though it's a third-party kit. We had a lot of discussions with other judges, other competitions saying, well, this person entered a full resin kit, but it's a resin kit of a Gundam, is it a lot? I'm like, well, not really, because resin kits are always more detailed than Bandai's plastic molding, and it doesn't come with anything Bandai made at all, and Gunpla is a Bandai kind of like trademark. So why enter it in Gunpla if there's no Gundam elements, or we just go to Mecha? Usually that's the answer. And how do we judge custom category? Well, it's pretty much anything goes, but I was talking about it the other day. It's kind of like a pyramid. Like LEDs and dioramas is kind of like the top of the pyramid. It's sort of like the cherry on top, but there's always that basic thing like finish, painting, neatness, posing and all that stuff. It kind of stacks up like a pyramid.
So posing plays a part, how you actually pose it?
Posing plays a part because Gundam is a dynamic model kit. It's not static like planes or tanks.
Sure.
So you want to add some human element. You want to tell a story. Like, are they like fighting, or are they like having a cool pose? Because there's nothing, I guess, more sad when you see like a really, really great painted Gundam and it looks really stiff. It just stands up like that, and there's no movement. Like bend the knees a little bit because it is like human. So it's like, how would you pose a figure? You wouldn't pose a figure like they're just standing up like nothing. So posing does play a factor because I guess it adds to the overall like presentation, of the Gundam. You don't want something that is too static. As long as it is a battle damage and like on the floor, and that's fine. But ideally, we want something with a little bit more movement too. So that's basically custom. Then there's a lot of questions like, how much modifications are too much? And a lot of people I know in Japan, they use like the silhouette rule, like. If you can still see the silhouette of the mobile suit, then it's probably okay. But then if you can't see the silhouette anymore, if you just put a bunch of stuff in there and you have to really look where's the Gundam, then that is probably too much. But then, it's also a point of contention because, well, if they put a lot of stuff and it requires a lot of skill, like then it should be acceptable. But then, I guess the Japs, that's why they come up with well, it still needs to look like a Gundam. Because if it's like kit bash so much that it doesn't look like a Gundam, then it's not really like, a Gundam. It looks like something else. It looks mecha, then it shouldn't be in that category. Okay, so basically that's the three categories and how we look at different ones.
So you mentioned you had a judging thing the other day. So that was specifically for Gundams, where you
so that's a workshop for the judges here, because following the success of last year, where we actually had entries in all three categories, I decided for this year, because I'm expecting a lot more entries and a lot more interesting stuff.
And I got first place last year, just saying, with my Gundam as well. So I was very happy with that.
That's good. So I thought let's bring all the judges and the volunteers who usually help judging so that they kind of know what they're looking for each
Sure.
category, because it is for like I guess the military people. It is very different.
Oh,
Like
it
they're
is totally
looking,
different.
It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
wow, what am I even looking at? Like there
Yeah.
are gaps there are holes. Like I was asked, oh, do you cover the holes? And I'm like, well, not really, because you can put things like you can add attachments. Oh, is it in the anime? Yeah, I mean you can see like the slots where all the armor
Yeah.
comes in. So if you want to cover it up, you can, but you don't have to because it's technically accurate.
Yes.
You know, like and they're like, oh, I didn't know that. Like I thought all of the holes must be filled.
Yeah.
Like no, it's for kid bashing purposes. Like it's a bit different. Yeah.
Very cool. And Jodie, you're fresh off the back of a show in Western Australia, the Iron Signet.
Yeah.
How did that go?
That went really well. We had a record number of entries. We're still pretty young, so it's our third year this year. We got 180 odd entries.
Wow.
Very good.
We only have the 3 categories, as you know. So we have like a junior, an intermediate, and an advanced. So you can put whatever you want into each category. As long as it's painted, that's what you're judged on. But we did have a lot more Gundam this year, which was really good to see. And a lot more variety in what people entered, like more figures, as well as like the standard Warhammer
Yep.
and busts and things that we get. So yeah, it was really awesome. It was a really great day.
Terrific. And the next one's happening again next year as well?
As far as we know, yeah, we haven't started planning yet. Still recovering, I think, from this year, but we're hoping to expand it into a 2-day event because that would give us a lot more time to run workshops. So
Yes.
I ran a free Gundam one on the day, and then we also had 2 others that were paid workshops running throughout the day. And then in the other room, we do it in conjunction with Objective Secured, who host a Warhammer tournament on the same day. So people can go
that's
into the
cool.
Warhammer tournament and participate in that as well and have a look around. So we're talking with Mike, who coordinates that from Hobby Tech, and seeing how we can like expand it into 2 days, how much that's like going to cost us really, and if we can have things like, we don't have vendors at the moment, but we would like to do that in the future as well.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, and I've also added some suggestions to Wasmex for next year as well for their Gundam categories.
Because Wasmix is going ahead next year now.
Yes,
there
yes,
was a
it
bit
is.
of we were a bit concerned that it wasn't sort of going to go, but apparently it is now, which is great
No,
news.
it is. They refreshed the committee, so the people who retired, they got some new blood on board.
That's terrific.
Yeah, and they asked for my input for the Gundam category, so I was happy to give that.
Fantastic.
So they're doing the 3 category as well, like scale like.
Just pull that microphone towards you, Marissa. Come on.
I just stole it from Marissa. And just I mean...
so does that mean I get commissions because you stole the idea?
No, it's just research.
It's just research.
Okay. But yeah, I think it'd be good because the straight build category, particularly that they have here, is a good entry point for people who don't know how to paint or haven't painted before, I think.
Yep.
So, and we have a lot of like newer builders in Perth, and I think it'd be a very good way to encourage them to enter Wasmex and then to kind of move up into painting.
This sounds really dumb, but to my eyes, or from what I pick up, Perth is a very young modelling city.
Yeah, I would say that.
There's a lot of new people coming in into the hobby, and they're coming in through Gundam and they're coming in through Games Workshop.
Yes, lots of Warhammer people, and also things like Bolt Action is quite popular.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like just other miniature games as well are quite big. Like they have big communities in Perth.
Yep.
So, and the Iron Signet has sort of shown that to us as well.
Yeah.
With the kind of entries that we get and the high level of entries that we get. So I really want to see that trickle down into Wasmex as well and sort of share that around. And we want to steal all the scale modelers from Wasmex. Because there is a lot of older builders still in Perth as well. Who do like
the older
military
traditional ones.
Yeah, they do like all the military aircraft and all the cars and things like that. And there's also another show in Perth called the Car Spectacular, which isn't really a competition, it's more of an exhibition, but they've been running for a very long time as well.
Right.
And they have like a massive car display once a year. I can't remember when it was, but they also have a display at Wasmex too. So yeah, so there's a good variety in Perth.
Yeah.
But it's not as big as this. Like this is like a next level show.
Wait till you go overseas.
Yeah, wait till you go overseas. Yeah, absolutely. get yourself off to Japan or the US or even
I'm
Europe?
hoping to go to Japan next year and go to one of their big shows that Lincoln often goes to. I
Yep,
think.
yep.
That'd be really awesome.
Very cool. Well, it's been absolutely fantastic to
Yes.
have two of Australia's best modelers in the Gundam world on the show again. It's fantastic having you on last time. We got some really good feedback. So what's on your guys' plates moving forward in the near future? Have you got anything sort of on, or any projects that's happening that you want to let us know about?
Well, I've let in Jodie on my little secret project that she's seen in my apartment that I've spent the past 2 weeks working on, and it made me want to. I'm burnt out actually, and I'm not even finished yet.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Because, well, it is just rumors. Like, there's a possibility Aiden might be we might be relocating back to Melbourne because of Aiden's work next year.
Yes!
So, because we're from Melbourne. Well, I'm from
Yeah.
Melbourne. Aiden's been stuck here. Yeah, I've been in Melbourne for ages, come up here for work, and then we kind of got stuck in the whole like public service hole.
Yeah.
And then Aiden's like, it's really funny because I was planning to relocate with you to Melbourne, and now you're up here stuck with me. so I'm thinking of like making like a really big, like kind of like, not really for a large scale, like, because we'll always visit, but it's
Yeah.
kind of like, well, I'm in Canberra and I can go to Sydney and Wagga easily. I want to make like a big diorama piece, like a Gundam piece, so I can sort of like show it around.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So I'm sort of like starting it early because I'm actually ahead in my projects for once in my life. I'm actually ahead.
Wow.
And I showed Jodie, and I showed her like, this is what I've done, this is the process, and she's just like, mate, what the hell? I'm like, and I'm like, I know, and I'm not even finished yet, and I'm so burnt out. So I'll be working on that. So next year, I'm hoping it'll be ready by the Illawarra show in May.
Right.
But you'll be able to see it like next year for sure. I'm actually going to make it a pretty big entry for once.
excellent.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
cool.
hopefully.
What about you, Jodie?
I think the next thing on the Perth calendar is the Best in the West, which is a Warhammer competition that the Games Workshop put on. So I'd probably do an entry for that. I'm a bit burnt. I told you about my disaster of a car before.
Yes.
So I'm a bit burnt out from that. I will finish it though.
Do you want to share that with the wider world, what you did with wrong with the car? Well, not what did wrong with the accident that happened with the car.
So I'll say that I've never made a car before, but I really wanted to make one for this show.
Yeah.
And I made a little WRC. It's a Hella model, which I've been told is not a great brand of model. But anyway, so I painted it, I did all the polishing, I spent ages on the body. The body looks okay. And then I was doing the glass bit, which is just one plastic piece. And I messed it up. So I tried to fix it, and then I was doing the top coat to try and clear it. And then I put my thumb on it when it wasn't dry. And it was just all over from that moment. And it's like, okay. And then like the story you told on the podcast of the guy with the boat, and it just upended when he finished it. And it's just like, this is my moment.
We all have them moments.
And I've gone, okay, it's not fit for competition.
You can make it into a car crash diorama.
I will finish
That's a
it
good
and weather
idea.
it.
Yeah, have it flipped upside down, and that way they can't see the windscreen.
Well, it is a rally car, so someone
Yeah.
said just like throw mud on it and
Yeah, that's
it'll
an
be
idea.
okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, I will finish it, and I'll do a story on Instagram about how valuable it is to fail sometimes. Yeah.
And speaking of Instagram, that's where our listeners can find both of you. So if you just want to go ahead and give us your Instagram handles.
Mine is at Perth Sakura Girl.
Yep.
Mine is at Wins Factor, so WINZ Factor. So it's very weird, but you can see all my Gunpla stuff there, sometimes figures, maybe a bike next year.
Oh.
I actually bought a bike kit.
What sort of bike?
It's
Motor?
a Tamiya Repsol kit thing.
Oh,
Repsol Honda.
I only saw the Repsol one, and I've been watching House MD, and I'm like, I'm getting a house bike. That's what I'm getting.
Moto GP 500.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
something like that. It's
Very
very
cool.
cool looking. So I had to.
Very cool.
Just had to buy it. So.
Wonderful. Thanks for being on the show,
Yeah.
ladies,
Yeah, no
and
worries.
we will
Thank
catch
you.
up with you again. And best of luck for the show this weekend.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Have a
See
good
ya.
one. See ya.
Bye bye.
Bye.
And welcome to the show, Peter Davis, the president of ACT Scale Model Club Association.
Yes. ACT Scale Models Society. Yes.
There you go. I
There we
knew
go.
it was in there somewhere.
Yeah,
I had
you
to try
nearly
and get
nailed
it out. Yeah.
You think second year you might be all over it, but we'll work on it. We'll work on it.
Congratulations on a rip-roar of a show.
Yeah, thank you, boys. Yeah.
You guys must be over the moon happy with how it's turned out.
Ecstatic, yeah. We are ecstatic, really, at the end of the day. We're quite chuffed. It's turned out quite well. New venues worked. Space is good. Entries are well and truly up. 2019 was our last club record, which is about 560 odd. And we ended up with 710 registered models this year. So, 20% increase, on a previous record. So it's been a huge turnout. So.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing that's taken me by surprise is how well the round tables have worked.
Yeah.
And also, you haven't made alleyways for people to walk up and down. The tables are quite separated.
It's fluid.
The oblong ones. Yeah, fluid's a good word, Ian.
Yeah, it is a good word. Yeah.
And so you can sort of walk right around the table and get a good view from all angles.
Yep.
The tables aren't so crowded that you don't get a good photo or miss the opportunity to sort of have a decent look at something.
Yep.
And it's really great.
Yeah, it's some of the feedback we got. So we'll look at keeping that and refining it. So there's a few things we want to refine about it, but we definitely want to keep it to, like you're saying, I think people have enjoyed, like the fluidity of it, of being able to, wander around and see stuff and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And it's quite funny because you wouldn't think, looking just over there to our right, where all the tables are, there's over 700 kits on there. That's quite deceptive.
It does, yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
it's really added all up, and it's definitely. I think that it was a big turnout this year. Figures and Gundam, and
well, we were saying that, and we've
Mecca,
mentioned it about 3 or 4 times now. How there's a very equal sort of turnout of all genre of models.
Yes, which is fantastic.
Aircraft aren't overpowering, or armour aren't overpowering it. It's a very sort of level, expression of all forms of modelling.
Yeah, definitely. Which has been good. Like I said, and like Mecca is a big turnout. I guess that's with Lincoln being here and stuff. So it's just been great to pull all these fantastic people from all parts of modelling together and the hobby and share it all. It's been a fantastic day.
You've had quite a few people through in the morning. It's tapered off now a little bit. I think that's because of the heat. It's 30 degrees
today. That's a cracker today, 33 I think it's at the moment, But tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow will be about 20-something.
Oh, there you go. But so tomorrow will be looking forward to another big day?
Yes, definitely. Obviously, competition results will be out, presentations, all that sort of stuff. So it'll be cracking day tomorrow. More presentations. The presentation's been really well received, which we thought they would be, the kind of guys and girls we've got out there doing it. They've been fantastic. Big 30, 40 people there for every presentation having a look. And
and the fact you're live streaming it as well, which is another bonus. So for those people who can't make it to the show, you can still sit and catch your favourite modeler or see what techniques that he's doing or she's doing, which is really great.
And recorded.
And for those who don't know the web address to get onto this, it is?
It's on our YouTube channel. So the best thing to do would be to jump on our ACT SMS Facebook page, find the post about the YouTube link and YouTube streaming, and jump on there and have a look at that.
And have a look, because there's some great people on there.
There certainly are. Some really talented modelers and builders there.
So it'll be recorded too. So jump on and follow our YouTube channel, because it'll be live streamed over the weekend, obviously, like the boys have said. But it'll be recorded and refined and put up into segmented presentation videos also. So they'll be up and available for people to to view as well.
Another big thing that
the characters around here. Hey, you're trying to be professional, and have a serious conversation, and the jokers that walk past here.
Peanut gallery.
The peanut gallery. That's a good vibe. That's what we strive to be: friendly, welcoming, and we're just here to have a great time and enjoy modelling. We'd never want to change that.
Yeah.
Fully agree. The other big thing is how we've got all the section over where all the kids can go and build a Gunpla or a Gundam. And I've just been watching. Tables been turning over quite a bit with a lot of kids going through and building.
They've had a crack and go. Yeah, so Pete from Toy World Canberra, he reached out and stuff, said what can we do and stuff to contribute to make the show better, and The idea came up. We've seen some shows overseas where Bandai gave out to these sort of sample kits or whatever, and he reached out to Hobbyco, and Hobbyco came on board and
and
delivered. So being a Hobbyco stockist with Bandai and stuff in Canberra, they were more than happy to help. And Pete, organised the admin for that and got all that stuff here. And like I said, there's been huge, especially this morning, there was a heap of kids down there putting. And they're quite good. Have you had a look at them?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
They're all multicoloured, like a normal Bandai kit, and
Yeah.
they build into actually something quite decent. There's quite a few parts in there. I thought, being a freebie, it'd be
What a great
not
takeaway.
average, but not as good as that anyway.
But what a great takeaway for the first time.
Yeah.
You bring your kid along and they can sit down at the table and they can build while you wander off and do what you want to do and come back and pick them up.
Yeah.
And they've got something to take home from the show with them that they built.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a gateway into the
Into the hobby.
Into the modelling
That's what I
hobby.
said at Bandai. I agree. I think it's not too rude, but I reckon it's the gateway drug to the hobby at the moment. Like, when we were growing up, I was more the sort of 70-second sale, sort of Hasegawa kits and whatever, but like you boys probably more the Airfix bags at the Muse Agent sort of thing. But these little Bandai kits are today's sort of addition to that, I think. So,
definitely.
But even
we shouldn't be discouraging it. Not at all. Yeah.
But even before and this is how far back I go. So born in '64.
Balsa
During the 60s.
Whittle and sticks.
whittle and sticks.
Even before Airfix and Frog and all that. During the 60s, in the cornflakes packets, you used to get these little plastic kits that you could assemble.
Yeah.
And, your mum would bring home, and the first thing you did, rip the top over and shove your hand in right at the bottom to try and get the kit out. And it'd be a snap fit together. It could be it's during the space era, that was, Apollo style spacecraft that came out, and then there was little sort of I want to say animals, and you'd attach a string and they'd do a little walking motion as you pull them along after you snapped them off the sprue and put them together. That was my first introduction to a plastic model kit as such.
But I think it's like I said, it's kind of the gateway drug to the hobby at the moment, which fantastic to see. And like I said, we've got a couple of younger guys that joined the club building Bandai, and they're now building 70-second scale, 40-hour scale Japanese aircraft and stuff. So it's just it's all relevant.
It is.
It's all relevant.
And speaking of Bandai, what a great turnout on those tables over there. That's awesome.
Some of the stuff looks amazing.
Oh, I know.
And like same with the Mecca, that's a whole new thing this year as well. That I don't understand it, but the artwork and the painting and the weathering, and it's in another world.
It's the next level.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Some interesting stuff out there.
There is indeed.
And even the stuff on the people who have their first ever competition. And some of the quality of this work there is really, really good.
Yeah, so they're probably trying to get into
Well, actually, it's really interesting. I had a guy come up to me today, and he said, he listens to the show, and based on what we said leading up to the show, he brought in his first ever kit, and it's sitting on that table over there.
Yeah.
And it's a little Panzer. And, as your first model back into it's not bad. He goes, I can see all the flaws. And I said, mate, it doesn't matter.
So can we all.
Exactly.
You had fun building it.
This is another takeaway, like people coming back into the hobby or new to the hobby, and they come to something like this, and it can be a bit disheartening. Like some of the stuff out there is amazing.
Yeah.
And they're like, how do I even get there?
Yeah.
But it's like, if everyone out there, those guys that are delivering that high quality stuff now, like Clayton and Sam and all that sort of stuff, all those guys and girls like Marissa at Gundam and stuff, if they all brought in their first kit they ever built, it would look like yours. So do not be put off. Do not be put off.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Yep. So and congratulations to you and your club for doing that and allowing people sort of put the first kit ever on the table into a competition. I reckon it's a great idea.
And it's growing. Like it's always we started only about 3 years ago, and it's been well received. And like I said, we're gonna
terrific.
Look at some initiatives next year and the year after to sort of bridge that again. Bridge that from that sort of category into the main event as well. So like I said, it's all about seeing everyone's hard work at the end of the day. It's not all about sheep stations.
No, that's it.
But
so on to tonight, we've got OTB After Dark. So we're gonna
are you going to password protect that episode or something?
Well, I'm never going to release it.
Oh, right, fair enough. It might be brand damaging.
Yes, exactly right. It'll tarnish our good image.
Exactly.
So.
What good image?
No, Yeah, I know a lot of our club guys now listen to the episode too. Like I said, so before I wrap it up, I just think it's not just me. Obviously, I'm just the sort of the muppet at the top sort of thing that everyone sees and hears from. Like you've heard from me a few times this year, the girls that are listening. But there's a team behind me, obviously, and every committee member that's volunteered their time over the weekend through the year to get this up and running, and the subcommittee that run the event. Obviously this wouldn't happen without them. So I've got I deliver a lot of passion and enthusiasm and stuff, but it's those guys and girls that help me deliver it. They help me deliver. So without them we wouldn't be here. So I'd like to thank them.
Speaks to the health of the hobby that you can put something like this on.
Yeah, definitely, exactly. Yep. So it's definitely people out there want to do it. You know what I mean? There's the hobby's alive, and we're just, there's people there building around Australia, and they're definitely doing their thing and stuff. And it's we just got to put something on and hopefully track them in and get them going. So
100%.
Totally agree.
Yes.
All right, thanks, mate. I'll
Thank
let you go.
Thanks,
You got lots of other stuff to do, so I'll let you go.
Thank you. Enjoy. Bye.
And I've managed to drag away from his little store, Scott, good friend of the show. How are you, mate?
Good fellas, how are you?
Scott from SMS Paints. Let's get that clear and correct.
Yes. Correct. Scott from the Scale Modeler Supply.
Yes. How you been, mate?
Yeah, busy.
You've had a really busy couple of months.
Yeah, years actually. Couple of busy years.
But for these last couple of months, it's been particularly busy. I mean, you've been doing some amazing things with new paint ranges coming out for trucks and cars and all that sort of stuff. And you just, you look at Facebook and bang, something else has popped up new that you're doing. I don't know where you're finding the time to do this and go to all the shows and get all the stuff shipped overseas. It's just amazing.
And build models.
Yeah.
Something's got to give, and it's usually the building the models. I haven't had much time lately, obviously, because we're too busy, because we did the new truck colours for Drake Collectibles. Bruce approached us back at Toy Fair in Melbourne earlier this year.
So do you want to just explain to the audience what that all means and what actually that is, Drake Collectibles and the trucks and all that sort of stuff?
So they're a die-cast company.
Yep.
The thing with a lot of the die-cast guys, they treat their die-cast similar to what we would treat a model kit.
Just get you to bring that microphone a little bit closer to your mouth.
Yeah, with the mouth.
There you go.
So they will take these die-casts, they will chop them up and modify them and change them and do the stuff that like we do as plastic modelers as well.
Oh, really?
So when they do that, they obviously need to repaint.
Yeah.
So they want the correct colours to match these correct for these transport companies. So this is where we've stepped in with the help of Bruce from Drake.
Yep.
And made the colour sets to match their die-cast models.
Oh, that's fantastic. Wow.
Yeah.
I never realised it was a thing.
Yeah, it's actually a big thing. If you go up to, I'll be heading up to QMH here next year. If you guys are heading up as well,
yeah, we're planning on doing that. Yeah,
there's a group of guys that are model club as well that are attached to like Drake as well, and they do a lot of modifications on these trucks.
What scale are we talking about?
50. I think 150, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
They're a bit different to what we're used to because they're a larger vehicle.
Of course,
yeah, because we're used to the cars being 124th, 125th scale.
Yeah.
These are a bit different because they're a larger vehicle.
And in conjunction with this show, you've got a couple of specials going on in line with Kinetic, because they've released the Okra, Operation Okra RWF Hornet, the F18A. Yep. And you've got a special paint set that's come out to complement that. Yeah,
we released a Hornet set, an RWF Hornet set, especially for 75 Squadron, which is Operation Okra. We have the standard greys that were used on all Hornets. So there's nothing special there, just the standard blue grey and the US medium grey for the top and bottom greys. Insignia white for the interiors on the wheel wells, etc. And we also have the fourth colour, which is our new RWF marking grey. Now, the marking grey is specific for this specific Hornet for the 75 Squadron, because generally with Hornets, the marking colours are the opposite grey. So the bottom grey uses the top grey as the marking colour.
Oh, I see.
And the top grey uses the bottom grey as the marking colour.
Right.
But with this specific aircraft, they have a different grey again. So we released the grey. So if you do get hold of a masking set, which we're hoping someone will come along soon and do a masking set for this.
Or you can do it yourself if you have the circuit, cricket cutter or circuit cutter.
Exactly
or
right. You can airbrush the markings on with this specific grey, which is matched to. We got the information for the guys via one of the guys, the Canberra club members, who told us the exact colour it was they used on the real aircraft. So we've reproduced that in our range. So now people can either use their water slides, or they can do their own masking sets and airbrush their markings on.
Very cool.
So what else is news in the SMS world?
We've got some more car colours coming soon.
Yeah.
So
Woohoo!
with the advent of the XY/XW Falcon kits coming out from DDA, we'll be releasing 6 new colours. So 3 for the XW, which will be diamond white, candy apple red, and reef green. And for the XYs, we'll be doing, to start off with, vermilion fire, yellow ochre, and electric blue.
DDA going from strength to strength with their Aussie cars that they're producing in styrene, and I think they've been selling like hotcakes.
Oh, they are.
And seeing them being built all over Facebook has been wonderful to see.
Yeah, definitely. They said the Falcons, apparently they're on the boat, from what I've been told, so they should be too far away. It should be before Christmas we see them in stores.
Oh, goody.
Ian will be happy being a Ford man.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I'm ecstatic.
And then after that, LJ Tiranas should be after that. They got bumped back because everyone wanted the Falcons, so they brought the Falcons forward and pushed the Tiranas back, which upset a lot of holding guys, but it made a lot of Ford guys happy.
And I'd like to see them put out some Aussie Chryslers too soon.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
They're playing. I know you've had Jesse on the show before.
Yeah.
They've got a pretty good game plan moving forward.
Definitely.
We should get him back on the show again, because it's been a while now. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, very cool. Now, I hear that you happen to go to a museum while you're here in Canberra. Because Ian's very jealous.
I'm jealous.
I know, I was talking to him before about it. People who follow what I do know what I'm into, and that's the dinosaurs. So National Dinosaur Museum here in Canberra is sort of the place to go for if you're a dinosaur nut like me. Ian wasn't allowed to go from what he told me. He got in trouble.
We had to drive past it. Well, my face pressed against the side window. So we go on past.
It's a good place. You'd recommend it?
Yeah, definitely. It's you walk in and there's a lot of gift shop and that. But you walk upstairs and they've got a large area with all different fossils and stuff, full skeletons and skulls and that. They've got a Triceratops skull, T-Rex skull, a couple of big Stegosaurus skeleton, Dimetrodon skeleton, all these other different fossils around. They're found around Australia as well. There's an Australian section and. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I go every year because it's literally the road into Canberra. So
that's right. You pass it.
If I don't stop, I'll kick myself because I love the place. But had to go through there yesterday on the way through, and it's always good to stop there.
Maybe next year, Ian, we'll leave a little bit earlier so we can stop there on the way in.
Done. We'll leave at 4 a.m.
But be careful, Ian, because I believe there's a bookshop there, and that can be quite dangerous too.
That's all right. I'll make sure I've saved my money.
Scott, I know you've been absolutely chock-a-block all weekend, and looks like you're in for another big day tomorrow.
Yep.
Yes.
And, geez, man, you get round to all the shows. So
not all of them, but I try to get as many as I can.
Round to the majors, anyway.
At least I'll try and help out as much as I can through sponsorships and stuff. But I try, especially the shows that we do, I come and trade at. We've got Melbourne Model Expo, obviously. We've got the Ballarat Model Show, which is our hometown show, so we have to go to that one.
Yeah.
Some good work coming out of that.
It's funny, I just commented on that the other day because they posted some pictures of one of the last meeting they had there. And they had a huge range of kits on display that, they've all brought along to their meeting. And I made the comment, there's a great range of, modelers within their club. It was awesome.
Yeah. And then also we travel across Adelaide, obviously, for the Satma show, which is a good show as well, and up to this one at Canberra, which is always a good drive up. And hang out with the guys up here because they're a friendly bunch.
Oh, they are, aren't they?
Yeah, top guys up here.
Yeah.
What's the drive time for you?
8 hours.
Okay, so it's still about the same as us almost, Yeah,
because you're on the other side of the city, so
yeah.
I've got to head down. I'll leave Ballarat, 4 a.m, bit after 4 a.m. Head down to the city, cross the ring road, then up to Hume.
Oh, you can't go across.
No, I've got to go down the city. I can go, if I wanted to, I can go the opposite way and go up through Dalesford that way. But that time of the morning, I don't really want to go country roads. 4:35 a.m. in the morning is not really good on roads that don't have any street lights. Doing 100k an hour, it's not really good. So, head down to the city. It's the same time. A little bit longer in distance, but it works at the same time.
Mind you, we only counted 16 dead kangaroos on the way up this time.
Yeah, well, I saw a few wombats too.
Oh, yeah, actually, we didn't see one wombat that had been skittled.
Yeah, we did too. Yeah.
That was a decent one too, so I'd hate to see the damage of the car.
As always, where can people go to find out about SMS?
Scalemodeler.com.au for our website, where you can also find our full list of retailers across the country and in New Zealand and in America and in the UK. And Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and that's about it, I think, at the Scale Model Supply on all them platforms.
I use the paint, highly recommend it.
Yep,
Great
it's awesome.
product. Get behind it.
Thank you very much, guys.
No
worries,
worries, Scott.
Scott.
Cheers, mate. And it gives us great pleasure to welcome to the bench Mr. Lincoln Wright.
My safe word is pineapple.
How are you today, Link?
Guys, thank you very much for having me on. This show is off the rails. Isn't it amazing?
It is great, isn't it? Fantastic atmosphere.
It's so unbelievable to be sitting together with the On the Bench team.
Yeah, it's all
On a bench.
on a bench, yes.
Well, after all these years, I mean, you've been on the show, what, 3 or 4 times now, I think, and this is about your 5th or something like that, and it's the first time we've actually met in person.
Yes.
Kill me. Kill me. Kill me. Yeah, this will be 5th go. Thank you very much for having me back, despite each time I ruin it.
No, you do fine, mate.
So tell us, how's your show weekend been so far?
It's been non-stop. Go, go, go. I didn't expect this, the level of the show, the amount of enthusiasm and appreciation from the people, meeting so many people we know, meeting a bunch of people we now know. It's just been brilliant. Really pleased with it.
Did you think that you'd be sitting in a corner with a pile of books and only getting the occasional interest from someone, or
and a big pillow, crying myself to sleep on it? I don't know how this one sounds. I was really impressed during the presentation that I was really supposed to do a workshop for, and I didn't read the room right. That I was prepared to be presenting to a different crowd who mostly knew scale and aviation and so on, but everyone knew was up to speed. They all go, machine cricket. Oh yeah, we know what that is. So that one was a big surprise too. Just absolutely blew me away. That it's a thing and people know what it is, and the mecha category here, I think we might have broken that a bit.
I think it has been broken, and the level of kits there, and because you and I, Link, were looking earlier on at the table, and geez, I'd hate to be a judge on that table this year.
They came up and asked, and I said, nah, nah, mate, because the level is just off the hook. Yeah. I think they've got 40 plus just for mecha. And then we've got the showcase for the community, which is the 2-3 tables we've got down the end there. It's one of the biggest machine and cricket displays I've seen in my career with it. So, just wow.
Yeah.
It's been very impressive.
My kit is the only one that's not in the mecha category, I noticed.
Hey, why does yours not play well with the other children?
I don't know. I just sort of, when I was, sending it in online, I just thought, okay, well, which category? Oh, sci-fi seems about right.
Yeah, no, and it stands out on that table too. It's great. It's one.
It's the only one.
The one that escaped.
Yes.
So I thought it looks brilliant.
Yes.
I guess you've been quite surprised, or maybe not surprised, by the amount of people that's coming up and wanting to get a groupie photo with you and get you to sign your book when they purchase it. But it's really pleasing to see, though, isn't it?
You've been noticing this?
I have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's various jokes I want to make now. My brain's providing alternative responses to that. And I'm thinking, no, don't say that on the air. No, don't say that on the air. But the real one is, I was quite taken aback.
Yeah.
There's been, quite a few people, both coming here to get the books and have them signed here, but also people who've bought them before and bringing them in, previous editions. Even had someone got the FAQ from Andrew's store.
Oh, right.
And ran that over and had me sign it.
Oh, fantastic.
And that was brilliant. It's like, oh, good, I haven't wasted my life.
No, you definitely haven't.
So no, it's been really good. So thank you, Canberra and Scale ACT for such a wonderful experience. And of course, On the Bench podcast who made this all happen.
Oh, that's all right.
Oh, we tried to do our bit. So this has been basically your first show for a while, hasn't it?
It's my first scale model show in Australia.
Wow.
Oh.
And Yeah, since forever. I'd only been to Gunpla shows in Australia, 2, 3, and that was before the big pause. So it's great to be back, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I like the Gunpla shows too, but we have a different sort of connection. I mean, I pretend to be a scale modeler. I know and understand the world a little bit more.
Yes.
So I feel a little bit more at home, so to speak. But then, even saying that though, this has also become a Gunpla show as well.
Yes, it has. Yes.
So there's that too. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Well, I don't think it's so much become a Gunpla show.
Stop being so disagreeable, Dave. It's your show, but don't you give me your opinion.
What I think we're what I think we're seeing is both with Mecha, Machine Krieger, and Gunpla is that it's now on a equal and level playing field.
Yes.
There's as many kits of those as there are armour and aircraft. Although aircraft still got a slight edge. It's
Oh mate, I'm so weak to these. Looking at these plain box arts getting around. Be still, my beating heart.
Yes.
Well, I got
Turn
sucked
to the
in.
dark side.
I got sucked in because we've been sitting here all weekend. And across the
No,
road is
they're
Kinetic.
right there.
And advertising's worked because I went and bought 2 kits.
Look at that RAAF Hornet over there.
Yeah.
with an explosion in the background.
Yeah. I do. I love planes. And
Box art sells.
Yeah, and look at all the camo patterns. And is that a Mirage in trainer yellow?
Yes.
It's in Ardu colours. So that was the Air Force Experimental Development Unit.
Okay.
Or Research and Development Unit, I should say.
Cool.
So that's why I had that funny colour.
It's dead sexy.
So tell me, what's been the standout in regards to the models for you at the show?
I've not had a chance to zoom around properly yet. So
I know the feeling.
yeah. So I'm hoping to get in. Can I come on the show again?
Of course.
So, no. Like I need to get around, and I was
Yeah.
hoping to grab some of the. I know the folks who know those genres really well, and say, dude, give me a tour. So I want to go over to the aircraft, have a look at them, the ships, just stuff that I'm not really intimate with to get a really good look and feel for it, and then I can give you a better answer. Because at the moment, I've been really involved with that mecha table.
Sure.
Because friends want to show me their works and their kits, and I think Dimitri and Chris are going to clean up.
Right, yep.
Those guys are so next level, aren't they?
We met Dimitri last night.
Can I mention now, that's why I'm not competing,
Yeah.
because they would kick my ass.
Oh, I don't know. We've seen your work. It's pretty amazing.
Well, that's why I'm down the other end. So you forget their stuff before you get down to my stuff.
Yes. So we'll be seeing you at more shows now?
Oh, I'm available. I mean, it was just
Just logistics, isn't it?
yeah, it was logistics, the transition. I didn't know anyone.
Yeah.
So, how to go about it? I mean, I met a bunch of folks who do I'm not sure if I'm getting the name right, but it's the Illawarra show.
Yeah,
Yes,
the Illawarra
Illawarra
show,
boys,
yes.
yep.
So I met a couple of them. I made mention to them. I go, oh, I live near there. And they got the boss bloke, the organizer, came around and we exchanged contacts. So,
And
yeah.
we're going to give a huge shout out to Gav Cross for
Yes.
helping you out this weekend
Yes.
and getting you around. It's been really nice of him.
He's a legend of a fella.
Yeah.
Gav Cross has been my trophy mate on this expedition. No, he has been really good.
Yeah.
So big shout out. Thanks, Gav.
Straight up and down guy.
Definitely.
Yeah. Despite all of your shortcomings, you are the best mate.
I love it.
So while we've got you here, what's and you're fresh off the back of your book you just pushed out. So what's coming down the pike from?
Is push out a positive?
Yeah.
It sounds a bit like shat out,
Well,
doesn't it?
I could have said squeezed out, but that perhaps has different connotations.
Yeah, but then you followed it up with coming down the pipe.
Pike. I said pike.
Okay.
And, so there was a question.
There was a question there.
I'm sorry, Your Honour. There was a question there.
What's coming next?
I almost Amber Hearded that one, didn't I? I was like, I can't hide it. I've got half of the work in progress up on my bench there for you. I've got all those Gossahund collection
Yes.
going together, and I mentioned them yesterday. This one has been it's a fantastic chance because I get to mention Gav Cross again. That I've got all 6 of the kits that have been made, and Gav pointed out, you're missing one, mate. So, and he happened to have a build of the 7th one that I needed. So,
Right.
you know, I've got all 7 now releases that have been done, and I get to choose put a paint scheme together and kind of put them together into a big story. So I've got, so it's working on multiple levels. It's like you work on, how Camo works on micro and macro levels.
Yes.
But having your story and idea formation working across entire book, then piece by piece across 7 iterations is exciting. So I get to do the ground, the moon, and the space versions. So I'm really excited about that.
Yep.
I know you're looking at me.
So
Dave's looking at me going, yeah.
Well, I'm into a Space 1999 build geek at the moment, so it's all moon
Love
related.
the Space 1999. I've been looking at that for reference, to be honest. I've been looking at Space 1999.
Yep.
UFO, remember the show?
Yeah, UFO, yes.
Loved it.
Thunderbirds, just because it's cool.
Cool.
And Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yep.
And I give my little projects, I know this sounds really geeky nosebleedy, but hey, I'm a nerd. I give them little nicknames. So number 4 of the Grosserhund series, I've been calling him at home Kubrick.
Kubrick.
Because he's more of the original 2001 sort of kind of thinking, and it's not far from the Eagles.
Yeah.
Because I've got him mostly in a kind of a light space white, but I've kind of yoinked that off the US Air Force. Because there's some design kind of things there. It's color 311, if you're interested. And then I'm going to flip them around on the further iterations to kind of match them in with some interesting themes like that. Because, I mean, Kubrick then went, he's also got Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Alec, and he's got Alex, the titular character. Titular. Why did I say titular? I don't even know what that word means. And flick around between those kind of things and put it together into a cool sci-fi book that crosses genre boundaries.
Yes.
How clever did that make me sound?
That sounded very clever.
Cool. So, it'll be really cool to see all that sort of come to fruition. So
I'm just going to do all the hard work.
Yeah.
That's it.
Circling back, so
Yes.
we were talking about how, it's fantastic to see all the Machine Krieger here on display today. Not only what's entering the competition, but over on your area there, like all the...
Did you see the gaming stuff too?
Yes.
Yes.
And our sculptor, I say our like I'm involved.
Yeah.
No, the sculptor. Michael's here.
Very cool.
And
I had a chat with him earlier. He's a
wow,
great,
has
great
he got
fella.
some history with hobby and Machine Krieger and everything. Yeah, brilliant to be able to have these people here and to be able to talk to them.
But it's interesting, I mean, because you're seeing the upsurge in interest in Machine Krieger here, indeed around the world. I mean... And
that's TJ Haller's fault.
I know.
Isn't it?
Oh, my God, the work that he does. The work that he does is just astounding. He's
I'm kidding around when I say that.
No, it's...
No, but TJ is impressive and influential as well.
Exactly right, yeah. And it's through his sort of, love of Machine Krieger and pushing it with the podcast, the Plastic Posse podcast out there. And
Does
sort
TJ
of
do a
championing
podcast as well?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I wonder if it's any good.
Oh, it's average.
Hey, that's been one of the cool things. People have been coming up at the desk and say, "Love you, TJ, Scott. You guys are awesome." But what I'm saying is, people have been coming up and saying, "Oh, Link, I got in the mood for today by listening to, episode 3. Not the episode you did, but the 3rd time you were on the bench, the 2nd time you were on Plastic Posse."
Oh, cool.
They know all the podcasts, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I hope I didn't say something stupid on that one. but it is great how much that has helped us to know each other.
Yeah.
It's just really cool to be able to make friends and have a kind of connection right off the bat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then buy my
100%.
books.
And buy books.
Buy more books.
All right, Link, so if people want to find you, where can they go to find you?
Paintonplastic.com, please.
Paintonplastic.com. As always, it's wonderful to have you on the
Yes.
show. Enjoy the rest of your weekend here.
No,
and,
thanks very much again for the invitation. It was
that's
great
cool.
to... It's a lot easier to talk on your podcast with you than doing a show where you've got the whole thing to yourself. It's kind of like, quick, I need Julia, come and ask me some questions, bro.
There's no scripting involved, is there?
Could we do that for a presentation next time? If they ask me around, can I say, I'm bringing the posse?
Yeah, you can do that, sure.
Just have some ring-ins in the crowd.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's no reason you can't decide on the form yourself, right? I mean,
Do you mean I'm allowed to choose my own destiny?
Yes, you are.
Is that where we're going here?
Oh, yeah.
Man, this is adulting plus, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Time to put on the big boy pants.
Adulting plus, you should have seen us on Friday night, but that's another story.
Not for publication.
No. Mate, once again, fantastic having the show.
Thanks very much, Dave.
Reach out and grab us when you got something interesting and more newer to tell us, and we'll have you back on again.
I'm working on more stuff, I promise. Thanks very much.
All right, catch you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, while we're here at the show, we still shouldn't ignore our normal duties, which is listener mail. And let's start off with the first one that comes from Dow Busby, who writes, "Hi guys, my name is Dow Busby from Nashville, Tennessee. I have been listening to the show for going on 3 years now, and I have heard Ian speak many times about building ship kits. Surprise, surprise. Now that I've purchased a ship model and am anxious to get started, thanks a lot, Ian. I've
You're
got
welcome.
a couple of questions. So,
all right, fire away.
You ready, Ian? Here's question
Fire
number
away.
one. What is your experience with Pontos models? I have never built anything from them and am nervous about the vast amount of PE included in the kit."
Pontos. Well, I can safely say I've got about 3 or 4 Pontos kits, but I have yet to put one in a build.
Oh.
It's going to be one of those things where it's just going to be patience. Be prepared to spend months working.
Well, I have used Pontos, and I've used it on the Perry class frigate.
Yep.
And I found I only used about half of the PE that came with it. It was
You
just a vast amount.
slacker.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You slacker.
Question number 2 to Ian. First-time shipbuilder. As a first-time shipbuilder, any advice on the build sequence and sub-assemblies?
All right, I always start hull first.
Yep.
Work on the hull, then get that all prepped and painted. Then I do the deck, get that all prepped and painted. Then I can start on the superstructures, get that all prepped and painted. Then the armament, prepped and painted. Start putting everything together. Then you can start on the most fun part of the job, and that's your rigging.
Very cool. Well, that's it. The only 2 questions from Dow. He just says, "Thank you guys for taking the time away from your modelling show, modelling to." Let me just read that again.
Start again, Dave.
Start again. "Thank you guys for taking the time away from your modelling time to bring me and many others such a great show. Keep up the good work and hope to hear from you soon. That's thanks from Dow."
You're more than welcome, mate.
Alrighty, next one comes from Brett Grogan. He writes in, "Greetings from USA, Southern California to be precise. Just listened to your recent podcast on YouTube channels and found it very interesting. I especially liked your comments about showing what's really going on. When I do my YouTube videos, they are often step-by-step beginning to end builds, warts and all. If I run into a roadblock, I'll show on the video how I overcame it. I figure if I'm going to do a video, I might as well do it and make it useful. That way, if somebody's building a particular kit or something similar, they can see exactly how I do things, how problems can be overcome, etc., etc. Great show, keep up the great work," and that's from Brett G.
Thank you, bro.
And I also reached out to Brett to see what his YouTube channel was, and if you simply just Google Brett G in YouTube, it'll pop up with all of his fantastic channels. So
very, very cool. I'll check it out.
Yeah, good on you. All right, last email. Let's see. This one comes from Brian O'Donoghue, who wrote, "Hi guys, hope you have a great time at the show. Are you missing a trick for the next podcast? Episode 176 and Matchbox 50th year. Why didn't you include it all together? There must be a few of us out there who cut our teeth on Matchbox 176 armour.
That we did.
Some of them were absolute firsts and a lot less fiddly than the Fujima and Nito kits at the time. I remember buying the Firefly as a kid, and the rest is history. Anyhow, keep up the great work. Another 11. God.
Are you all right, Dave?
No, I need some hydration. I had a few drinks last night. Anyhow, keep up the great work. Another 11 episodes, and you can do Rocco mini tanks. Best wishes from Brian O'Donoghue from Hereford in the UK.
Thank you.
And it's interesting here because at the show they do have a display on Matchbox celebrating 50 years of Matchbox. Yeah. So I should take some pictures and whack that up on the...
Good idea.
Yep. So that's all we've got for listener mail. Of course, if you want to reach out to us, you can simply send an email to onthebench64@gmail.com. Now, you can reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is On The Bench, or to the fans site, which is On Your Bench.
Yes.
All right, let's take a break and see what else is happening in the show.
Not a problem.
And now we've got Gav Cross, a.k.a. personal assistant to Lincoln Wright.
We made sure he turned up this time, yeah.
Good afternoon, Gav. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks, Dave. How are you?
Good. So, juniors. Let's have a chat about juniors, because it's a very important part of the hobby and something that we do see it being developed, but there's certainly more areas that it can be pushed out to, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we know with this contest, the club here has a young guns and junior category, so they can put that on the table and you can see some of their work and really support the work that they're doing, and having their own category means that they can have their own sort of show and shine. There's also the achievement unlock category for just new people entering a competition in general, but juniors, they are the future of our hobby.
Yep, 100%.
And there's a lot of challenges in getting our juniors to do hands-on things and get away from screen time, and something else that I've been involved with is the original Mecca contest.
Okay.
And they have a junior section. It's been really hard to sort of get that off the ground, but one thing that I did was bring about sponsor a junior.
Yep.
And it was give them some kits, give them some parts that they can use to make their own mecha. So we've got different genres like Warhammer, Gundam, and other categories that do bring juniors into the hobby. And we're seeing an elevation of quality and the types of kits that are being built. But I guess mashing those worlds together from a senior standpoint as well as juniors, I think needs to be a bit of active prodding and pushing and support for juniors in general.
Well, we saw at this show here in the weekend, Peter Davis was talking about it yesterday, where they got a special table set up. They had a deal with the company or the distributor for Gundam kits, and they've got those little Gundam kits out there for the kids to build. And that was a roaring success, watching the kids sort of sit down there and just build it, and they could take it home with them. And being Gundam, it's snapped together, so it's really easy. Just snip it off the sprue and bang, off you go.
Yeah, I think that's a great approach because, I guess as builders we have a certain level that we try to achieve.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to teach the juniors that, then you can put up some walls and roadblocks. But I think we need to think about it in simpler terms, and having those snap kits really takes away those barriers. You don't have to worry about paint. You don't have to worry about cleanup. But they can experience what it's like to put that together. We've done similar things with Frontline Hobbies up in Newcastle, where they build a Gundam. So you've got Toy World here and being sponsored by Bandai Distributor, and we've seen quite a few juniors building those, and even compliments within the group about people helping those juniors build their kits, which is great to see. So
what are your thoughts as to how local clubs could sort of perhaps push this a bit more at a local level?
So I think it'd be great to see like a sponsor a junior sort of event, that maybe it's a yearly sort of thing that multiple clubs and shops can get involved with. Maybe there's a PCYC or something like that, or cadets that you could sort of partner with, or schools to do it in the school holidays. Obviously there's complications around working with children checks and all that sort of stuff. But if it's sponsor a junior, people can register. Maybe that you can do some online YouTube sort of live streams and explain about how to build it, do build along, post in a group via their parent or something like that, and I guess celebrate the hobby and make it a national sort of thing. I think that'd be great.
I think cadets is a great idea because there's, well, certainly within Australia, and I'm not really too sure what it's like around the rest of the world. I know the UK is fairly similar, maybe Canada as well. But cadets is generally set up in support by Department of Defences, the Department of Defence certainly in Australia, where you get kids from the age of 13 up to 17, and they can either be in the Air Force cadets, Navy cadets, or Army cadets.
Sure.
And it's also sometimes associated with the school as well.
Yeah.
But the point I'm getting at is those kids have already got their interest in there. So it's not much more of a stretch to say, hey, you want to come and sit down and build a tank or build an aircraft. And possibly even scouts as well. That's another one. You have a badge for, having to build a model or
building
something.
badge,
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, there's heaps of way of doing it.
Actually, there is.
Oh, there is?
Yeah. I got one when I was a kid.
Oh, well, there you go.
For building model
still a
aeroplanes.
thing? Is it still a thing
I
now?
wouldn't know. But I know it was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But even, we've got models in our stash that, we
Collect
could
dust.
potentially use to promote, within the clubs or within the local community around putting those on Facebook for free on Marketplace or something. But, you've got to build it and share to this group or... you don't want to give them the ones that are hard to build, but
No.
we've all got plenty of kits that you could pick out a handful and move that along and see the benefit from it. Now, if they want to do Bandai or they want to do Warhammer or whatever that may be, it's not about the genre, but I think it's just about getting them creating and doing something with their hands.
Yeah, fully agree.
Yep. Cool. So there's a challenge, Gav, to all model clubs out there.
Yeah, I think so. It'd be a great one. We can hit up some of the distributors and see what they could potentially do around excess stock and see how we can align something and maybe pick a long weekend or something like that.
That's the key. Don't make it. Aim for one particular weekend.
Yeah.
And that's the weekend where you get your club members out to sort of engage with the young'uns.
Yeah, I think so. And then you have some sort of voting around the ones that have been finished and interact on Facebook because that's a medium that they all love. So make it interesting, make it interactive, and celebrate creativity and model building.
Very cool.
Great idea.
What are your thoughts on the show?
It's been great. Last year, new location this year, good crowds coming through. The quality, I think, has really stepped up this year on the tables.
Yep.
Record number of entries.
Yep.
I brought in some scratch-built type stuff this year versus the traditional tanks and so on. So it'll be interesting to see what categories get up and what awards come through.
Well, we're about 5 minutes shy of the awards being announced. I think is it 3 o'clock they kick off?
Yeah, I should have moved mine onto the sci-fi table, right, Dave?
No. I was quite pleased that you didn't actually. I'm in with a chance.
Yeah, we'll see. But no, great show. Heaps of vendors as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, catching up with you guys and a few others, and the relationships that you build and continue to foster is, the ultimate reason for turning up, let alone the contest or the models.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly right. Thanks for popping in, mate.
Yep.
Looking forward to seeing you next year.
Sounds good. Might see you in Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to enter sci-fi.
Yeah, well done.
All right, thanks,
All right,
boys.
mate. No worries, catch you.
Bye.
Well, that brings us close to the close. We're just waiting here now for the awards to be announced, but then it's going to be a mad rush to get at the door. So I thought we'd take this opportunity just to do our final sign-off and get in the last words. Ian.
Mate, it's been a great show. Kudos to the guys from the ACT.
Yep.
Absolutely enjoyed it. Looking forward to next year.
Julian?
Yeah, I mean, I was a bit under the weather, a lot of it.
Self-inflicted.
Yeah, some of it was, rum-induced, and some of it was just the extreme allergy, hay fever allergies that I've had. Talking to other people, it's just as bad for them too. It's really horrendous. But yeah, I've been here and I did end up buying one kit, but that's about it.
Yeah, I bought a few kits.
Yeah, you bought a lot. I mean, that's to be expected. You guys do buy a lot.
I bought 2.
Oh, that's restraint
That's
for you.
very restraint for me.
But it'd be remiss for us to sort of sign off without saying thanks to all of our listeners who popped in and said g'day.
Yes.
I can't count the number of guys who sort of stopped me in my tracks, has been walking around or even come up here while we've been chatting away and just said thanks for what we do. But it's really, we need to thank those guys for supporting us and listening to the show.
Exactly. Yeah. So thanks, everyone.
Yes, thank you for supporting us all this time. Too many people have come up to me and said, "Oh yeah, I've been listening since episode 1." Oh, I'm not episode 1 again. Every time, episode 1.
Actually, episode 2 is probably the worst. Episode 1 wasn't that bad.
Yes. I'm pretty sure it was just you two on episode 1, so it must be bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it, I think, until next fortnight. And again, thanks for everybody who dropped in and said g'day.
Yep.
Thanks for everybody who attended the show. Thanks for Scale ACT for hosting us. Thanks to all the volunteers. And we'll be back in a fortnight.
We will.
Yes.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye.